Well, folks,
it was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen. I'm heartbroken right now. We just recorded test show, what was to be
73.
Test show 73, and
we were kind of on, right?
It was okay. It wasn't our best. Let's not over dramatize what happened.
Yeah,
but we lost the show. Somehow the recording shut off early on, and I didn't catch it. I'm taking the blame.
Don't take the blame. There's no blame because there's no blame in Andy Town or in Josh Town or somewhere.
So we haven't figured out what this week's show is yet.
But wait a second.
But I wanted to at least give you, some explanation up front here.
Right.
That says, yes, we screwed up.
We did screw up. And I wonder, you probably don't want to bring the song on another time, right? You could add the song in there. What's the matter with me?
We'll save that.
This is so stupid. I have the worst solution. But here's the thing. I would normally, I guess if I wasn't going to Toronto tomorrow, I would probably, I don't know if it would be good to give it a shot. I mean, I'm not going to because I'm tired, because I have to pack.
Yeah, Andy's off to Toronto in the morning, and he's not back until next Sunday. So
we're not sure. In other words, we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen.
I feel like we let people down.
I feel like it too. And
that's something we have to get. Well, the other thing is we don't want to lose the momentum that we've.
So you're making me feel worse, is what you're saying?
No, the every week momentum.
Yeah.
I think I was kind of making a joke. It's too soon after losing the show.
I feel horrible.
Well, I hope you don't feel horrible because I would hate for you to feel horrible over something like this because you have to do so much. If I was recording the show, the first half hour would be, are you sure we're rolling? Are you sure we're rolling? Are you sure we're rolling?
But at least it would be a show.
It wouldn't be that. No, the show would be worse if the OCD guy was in charge. I don't know why I'm saying any of these things. I don't know.
I don't feel better. But here's this week's whatever we came up with.
Right. And they should know that this part of it was recorded the very same night that we lost.
This is right after the discovery.
So we're kind of depressed about it.
A little shell-shocked.
But there's no bright side, basically. Here's what I was going to say. I didn't want to do a fake. Here's what you don't want right now.
Yeah.
Josh, it happens to everybody. You don't want any bromides,
I don't want any bromide. I don't really want platitudes.
Yeah, you don't want it, right? And it's, like my mom might say something like, you look back and you go, that was the best thing that ever happened, or something like that. I don't want to make light of it. But I did, in a way, want to make light of it. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this last part. Here's what I'm sorry about. We're recording this in lieu of the show.
Right.
And already there's parts that you have to cut out.
I may have to host a clip show now while you're gone.
Oh, no.
So do I have your permission?
Yeah, well, of course you can do that. But I wonder if we should do... Is there any value to me Skyping in something? Like when you get the clips together?
Yeah, maybe.
I feel terrible. Here's why I feel terrible. You have to be you shouldn't even have to worry about it because all the big shows have tons of engineers. But I don't want you to feel bad about it. But I also feel like I'm keep bringing it up like it. But no, I know there's work involved. All I'm thinking about is the work of you having to do. That's all I'm thinking about. No, that's not true. I'm thinking about myself again. This is how I could have good therapy sessions. See, I want to come out of the whole thing going, and I learned from this that it's not all about me. It's about Josh and his inability to hit record.
All right, go to Toronto and fuck yourself. You're fighting the good fight badly.
Yes, I'm fighting the good fight badly.
Memory foam makes you lose your memory.
Why does that make you laugh, Josh?
Because it hurts you to cry.
It's viral. It's gonna go viral.
That's fantastic.
One of these days.
Mr. Andy Kindler, tell me which celebrity's been troubling you.
You see how I'm interrupting right now? That's
Weinstein keeps hoping, leave space open so we can sneak a little joke in. Change his middle name to Elvis just so his initials wouldn't scrub on JEW.
And that's why I still love you.
Thought Spiral. Let's put up a paywall
Here's the way the paywall would work.
to see if podcasting pays off. Thought Spiral's gonna go viral
Anything but.
one of these days.
All right, just thought I'd play a little music to lighten the mood, thanks to Ryan Spratt Music. Okay, it's Thursday now. I feel a little better. The gun's out of my mouth. This is Test Show 73, the only test show that needed a test show of its own, apparently. So I'm not doing a clip show. Andy will be joining me by Skype in a moment. I'm going to take my fuck up and make fuck up aid. We're going to do our first international show. Andy's in Toronto. And I know what you're thinking. Andy on Skype, fantastic. It's like Andy, but with more treble. Okay, hopefully this will work. I'm going to get Andy on the line. Cross your fingers. We may have a show yet. Toronto, Canada, you're on the air. Caller, are you there?
Hello, Toronto, Canada.
I'm getting an echo.
What? Do you have an echo?
I'm getting an echo.
What's your question? What's your question for the thought spiral?
You called us, Toronto.
Oh,
How's it going, Andy?
sorry. I do love my Larry King. Hello.
We all love your Larry
You're on
King.
the phone with Adolf Hitler. What's your question?
Why the mustache? Wait, now we're asking Larry King a Larry King question.
Yeah, but this is very hard for us. We don't consider ourselves techniques. Like, I don't even really know what I'm talking into. I can hear you good. There's a heart going on. I feel like my mother now trying to operate Facebook.
There's we're on Skype.
Yeah.
And there is a beating heart on screen.
Right. Now, are you cool with not having video? I mean, why do we need the video, right?
Yeah, I prefer no video.
Oh my God. I just came up with, I'm writing down my mom operating Facebook.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a joke about, did you turn it on? And we're going to keep doing that joke for the rest of our life.
I don't know.
Are we recording?
Well, I don't know. The show that we lost, I gave you a bunch of shit for falling asleep in the previous show, and now you have a
you went up to me.
Now you have a weapon against me, so I think we could just call a truce.
I think you could have done something simpler, like put my hand in warm water when I went to sleep. That would have been better.
Yeah, during your sleep test is when I'd like to do that.
What's that?
I want to do it during your sleep test.
Hey, this time I went for my sleep test and I was going to do a joke about what my score was, but there's nothing funny about that. Can you punch it up for me?
I'll get back to you. I went to the doctor today.
Oh, you see?
I'm freshly back from the doctor.
Now, what kind of doctor was this?
It was my GP. I had to get some balls rolling. It was a bad idea. By the way, it's a bad idea to go during the congressional hearings, during the Judiciary Committee hearings, because he diagnosed me as clinically disgusted.
I want to say, even though we practiced that like 7 times,
we did
the delivery was still excellent.
Thank you very much.
Do you know that we could never probably do much prepared material? I mean, how much longer could we go with it?
I've learned that, 3 lines deep and you're into the bonus time.
Now, was it this GP and you went to him and him or her?
It's a him.
Okay.
And I needed a referral to a good back surgeon because I'm going to have some back surgery, I think. And, that was good. And he was impressed with my weight loss. He hasn't seen me in a while.
Ooh.
So it was all good. So I
to a bad back surgeon?
I have actually. I don't know if they were bad surgeons because I didn't go that far down the line with them, but I went with people who went, they could be a bad back surgeon.
Well, the guy who sent you a letter, dearest Josh.
Yeah, that was the kidney guy.
Dearest Josh, how are you? I hope this letter gets to you safely. Right. I think you need to come in immediately.
Right, exactly.
So,
now I have an MRI scheduled on Monday. And
that's a magnetic resonance imaging for the people who don't know.
Yes, it is. That should help them.
Can you slide into that?
Did I?
No, I mean, do you have to slide into that when you get like claustrophobic?
Oh, I thought you meant that line. The MRI machine. Yes, you do have to. You're on a sort of rolling gurney that they roll you into the machine.
And does that bother you?
Oh, of course.
I see. I would think you'd be cool. I always assume that you are cool as a cucumber. Is what I assume.
Well, I don't, by all outward appearances, it doesn't bother me. Inside, I'm a churning wreck of borderline claustrophobia and anxiety. But
well, I kind of think that's the J. Elvis method.
It is
that
indeed.
People cannot tell you have a good poker face when it comes to anxiety.
Yeah, it's not a conscious choice to hide it. That's just how my body works.
I think when someone looks calm, it's almost impossible that they're acting, that they're doing it. You almost have to be just doing it as opposed to putting it on. Because if I try to act calm, I don't look calm.
There's a calm voice in my head at all times. So one voice can get louder where it's like the freak out voice, but there's always a dialogue going on in there. It's my parents. The dialogue is my parents. It's my mom freaking out and my dad going, let's have a sense of perspective about this.
I missed what your dad said back?
He would say, let's have a sense of perspective about whatever is going on.
Oh, so you have both of those voices?
Yes, I do.
Okay, my mom panicked and my father was in a good mood until he blew.
Yeah.
How about those voices?
My dad was capable.
My mother's voice I have is, what did you do? What did you do wrong?
Right.
What did you do wrong? So that's what I think of all the time. Is my reflex reaction to anything in life. What happened? What did I do?
Yeah, I had more of a "what did they do to you" knee jerk from my mother. So that's why I'm calmer than you.
Oh, your mom was worried about what people were gonna pick on you, or?
Yeah, she would. If I played the victim card, she'd buy right into that.
If there were a set of victim cards, I did a new deck, Josh. Right. A new deck. Nothing?
That sounds like I was just thinking, immediately I was trying to monetize that idea into Thought Spiral merchandise.
I just realized something. Now I know what Thought Spiral merchandise. What would it be?
It would be the deck of
Hey, can we draw a different victim on each card?
Yeah, it's the deck of victim cards.
And then one card is, don't bother me, I'll sit in the dark.
Right. No, well, one card will be like showbiz hates me. One will be like God hates me. One will be I got beat up. One will be this isn't fair wild card. Right.
How did Louis C.K. ever get successful while a man like me toils in relative obscurity?
Right. Maybe that's three jealousy cards right there. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, it was my first me not remembering what I was going to say. Oh, damn it. Oh, I was going to say, this is the first time that we've done. See, if I just relax, I can remember what I was going to say. But I don't know if we have that much time. This is the first time we've ever done a podcast where we can't see each other. But we could see each other, but it would be awkward on Skype. Whereas when you're in the same room and I'm staring at you, lovingly, it's not as off-putting.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go on the off-putting meter because I think we could achieve off-putting on both levels.
Both. But you think without seeing it, just by hearing our voice?
I think either media would be off-putting is my point.
I just don't want to lose the intimacy.
Yeah, well.
Because you know what? Josh, if this works out, you know what I'm going to say we should do.
Let's do this every week. Why do I have to go Why do I have to go the 600 yards to your house?
Yeah. You know how, look, sometimes you know how I'm scared of the dark. Why can't I? No, you know what I wouldn't be able to enjoy then? I wouldn't be able to enjoy Lucky.
That's true.
It's a bad reason because I should have as much feelings about you as for your dog. But I was just telling Susan the other day that I guess it always sounds bad when I say your dog loves me or, it always sounds like I'm trying to say I'm great. Well,
yeah. I mean, it's needy and, creepy, but that's okay.
I know, but who do I celebrate my special relationship with Lucky with? When she makes those, I almost said he again, when she makes those sounds and she's just, I can't believe and I can't believe I still have the need for you to say I'm in the top 5 of people she enjoys when they come over of your friends.
She does. You are the only person that she, aside from Elon, who she kind of knows comes over one day a week. But I don't set up equipment for Elon to come over. So when she sees the mics come out, she parks herself and waits for you to come over.
So you're almost like you've done dog researchers. I mean, you know how dogs, they remember. What do they remember? The various things and places, or
they have different cues, you know. And sometimes it's a visual cue, like a microphone or a suitcase is a visual cue for them. And not that you're coming, but that I'm leaving.
Oh, I see. Well, if I needed to know more, I'd have to have a dog to know more about this.
Right. And you could adopt one of many needy dogs.
I think you could have problems. Are you going to have problems with the audio? Because normally my rudeness isn't multiplied by technology.
No, this is why people like you on other podcasts.
No, I don't think they ever like me when I'm talking over someone. I don't think anyone's ever said on an online board. My favorite time is when Andy doesn't let the other person, or just goes on and on and on, and I can't hear what the other person says. I've never had that reaction.
Well, your record's intact.
Well, okay, so I had a couple of ideas about. Did you have any? Because I have my own ideas about what we could do. Have we told the people enough that we lost? Have we talked about the fact that we didn't record the session enough? I don't mean so much to make you feel horrible, but by way of explanation.
Yeah, people know. This is people know. All right, now we recorded an intro.
Well, you know what's terrible is that I wouldn't say I bring my B game all the time, but you know, if anybody can be accused of not being there, like be here now, you could accuse me of it. And so I'm wondering if it's going to be worse with me on Skype. Unprepared on Skype, but so far I feel like I'm hanging in there.
So far, I think we're at a lateral move from the show we lost. So I think it's safe to say it wasn't a special show we lost. We had no major conversations. We had some good banter. But
I remember that you brought up playing a gig as an example of something you could talk about, and I didn't even get it as a lead-in.
Yes, I brought something up as like, hey, I did this, and then you didn't listen, and then you went, hey, you never bring anything up, and I kind of went, well, you know, I did, but once again.
Yeah, you could have asked me, you did a gig with Allison, and I don't mean to call it a gig, but I think that's what they call it.
Sure.
I hate that word, though, and you have to agree with me. That's a terrible word.
A gig?
It never sounds good, right?
It's okay if you just let it go. I mean, now that we're dwelling on it, yeah, we sound like a bunch of assholes. But before, it was just sort of seemed like the lingo.
Well, is it like when stand-ups call themselves artists?
Yeah, it's not good when they do.
I want to do it, though. I
call myself an artist, but I don't necessarily. I'm a stand-up who's an artist. It's kind of how I think of it.
That's better. This way sounds a little bit once removed.
And I back it up with things that aren't stand-up.
Now you confused me.
I mean, I can say I'm an artist and separate it from stand-up itself, even though you know what I mean? I'm a stand-up and an artist. Those are two separate things.
Yes. Well, that's always the argument. And we have that joke in the State of the Industry where we say, you know, they'll say it's not an art form. People will say stand-up's not an art form. I was thinking about that when I logged on to hahaha.com.
Yes, which is one of my favorites of yours.
Now, do you have any desire to add the failed Brazil interview?
No, I don't. I'm just going to do...
Can you please leave in this podcast that you reject? We're not that desperate that we have to play the podcast. I don't even remember doing that podcast, so I can't have said anything that wasn't just and then Brazil doing one of his show Briz laughs.
Yeah, I can't. Well, you were so stoned.
That was such a. The thing about it was
that was the root problem.
I think I was trying to hide it from you, right?
Yeah, that was the thing. Is that you not only tried out, you flat out lied.
I lied.
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've caught me on a lie? Because I'm trying to lie less.
I'd hate to think it was the first time, but
it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Oh my God! And I would admit, how many times? No, everyone's lied at one point. But what would you say? How much of a percentage of the time do you flat out lie? Just because it's like,
do I flat out lie?
Yeah, you don't want to go to lunch with this guy, or you know what I mean. You're sick. I can't make the bowling meet.
I will. I mean, those are the only lies I really consistently.
I know they are. That's why you're.
That's my lie. Is the reason I can't do something. That's about the only card. That's the only card I. That's the only card I really play. Is the give a slightly better reason other than dread for why I'm not doing a thing.
Well, the alternative is to say, I'm free, but I would not want to hang out with you. I'm just not in the mood for it. Like that. The truth is worse sometimes.
Segura has a very funny bit, which I shouldn't tip from his new act, but nonetheless, he talks about how if you ever are interested in seeing me masturbate, all you have to do is call and cancel dinner plans.
Oh, now that is a man after my own heart.
Yes.
I love when things drop out or they are canceled.
Yes.
Cancellations.
Oh God!
When I was at summer camp, I hated
there a
camp
better
so much
feeling?
sometimes.
Is there a better feeling? Is there a better feeling than plans that are canceled that wasn't because of you?
Well, not if it was meeting Bob Dylan for coffee or something like that.
I don't know. I would love to have an appointment with Bob Dylan for coffee, but I think I'd still be relieved if he called one. I can't make it. I'm afraid I just have to, I can't make it. He doesn't have to come up with a better excuse.
I'd love to have coffee with you. Can you make it tonight, Charles? Some Well, that's terrible. I'll have to work on my Dylan. I used to be able to do that.
I can't make it. My hard drive just crashed. Something like that.
I'll never forget Warren Zevon said that he learned not to make small talk with Bob Dylan when he asked Bob Dylan what he had been doing. And Bob Dylan said, I've been traveling.
Never ask a guy on a never-ending tour where he's been.
I've been on the road.
I've been on the road. I've been out there. I don't go home.
It's just like we could compete well in a people who are exhausted from doing Dylan impressions contest.
We could. I've thrown the gauntlet. Now don't taunt it.
He can never die as far as I'm concerned. I'm not accepting that he will die. I want to die before Dylan. That's all I'm saying.
Really?
Not really, because he's older than me.
He's a lot older, yeah.
I don't need that. I'll be sad.
I always have this sort of resentment because I so associate him with my dad's age because they were classmates and stuff. And, I think when I see all those rock guys of that same age, the Beatles and the Stones are all that age too. And you just go, how did my dad die at 52?
I know that's not cool. Well, they 1940? Was your dad die in 1940?
He was born in 42. He was born in 42. My mom was 41. 42. Yeah.
And so Lennon was born in 40. I don't know. And maybe Dylan too. I don't know. I'm always bad with that. But yeah, it's too soon. It's too soon. And I've decided now. Do you ever say to yourself, you're a young man, but do you ever say to yourself, well, it doesn't sound so bad. 40s, right?
Dying.
40. Well, I'm trying to do that with 60s now.
It doesn't sound so bad, meaning it's okay to die now, or that it's okay to be
No, I'm still with it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's harder in your 60s.
Well, here's the thing. I have known people my whole life who weren't with it. But maybe that wasn't based on age. I'm just scared that some kid's going to meet me, new comic's going to meet me, and they're going to be nice, but then they're going to mock me behind my back. There goes old man comedy.
Probably both will happen, There's just no way around that,
I know.
You're 35 years in. You're the guy. You are the old generation of comics now.
That doesn't seem like it should have happened, but I mean, I don't want to do like jokes about being hard of hearing or grabbing my heart.
Like you're like Henny. You're at least as old as Henny Youngman was when you started comedy.
I was totally confused by that. When did he start comedy late, or did I start comedy late?
No, I'm just saying that you're an old. When you started comedy and you thought of Henny Youngman, you think, "Holy shit, that's an old man."
That's true.
And you are at least as old as Henny Youngman was when you started comedy. Is what I'm saying.
Absolutely true. So what that shows is what comes around goes around.
Exactly.
I was,
or something like that.
I was looking at Ed Sullivan, looks like he's ready to drop dead. Now I'm Ed Sullivan.
Exactly. Yes. Now you understand.
Well,
so how are things in Toronto?
Okay, well, Toronto I'm having a great time, except, first of all, I love the city. They're all, any of these cities like Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver.
Cities in Canada.
What's that?
I thought we were playing Pyramid. Sorry.
They hate Trump, and they feel bad about us when we come up there. So it's very comfortable. It's like you feel like anytime I can leave a country that Trump's not in charge of, you just feel slightly better.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was in Canada right after 9/11, and there was a certain comfort in just sort of watching it from afar, even though it was 100 miles afar. But yeah, I imagine the same thing. Safety. Yes, exactly. I imagine it's the same thing watching these clowns today, going, "Hey, I could stay."
But yesterday, I had a panic attack. Well, for me, I had 3 panic attacks in my 20s. In other words, like that I thought I was going to die. Well, I guess the first one I thought I was going to die. And then the second time I went, I kind of remember I didn't die last time. And then I had the third one. But that was it. I've had anxiety, ongoing anxiety, but very few panic attacks. I had like a 4-hour episode yesterday.
Wow. That sounds horrible.
It really was horrible. Susan saved my life. She was unbelievable. She took care of me, and I slept for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then, when you've had panic attacks, right?
I've maybe had, I've had anxiety attacks. I think a panic attack, there might be one time where I had what other people describe that feeling like you're going to die kind of panic attack.
Right.
I don't know that I've even ever gotten there, but I've had anxiety attacks, let's say.
I would say this was an anxiety attack I had because the thing I was worried about was, will I have to go to the hospital now? Will I have to cancel the show? That's what it's like I hadn't eaten enough. So it starts to kick in that I need to eat. And I interpret that as food poisoning or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's always me ahead of my head. What's going to happen if this doesn't end? And so it's like, and then I try to convince myself to calm down, and sometimes I can't just relax. And I was out in the world with groceries and coffee, and then I had to kind of almost run back. And then when I woke up, I felt so much better. And when you feel better after anxiety, you feel like nothing will make you anxious. You know what I mean? That particular night, I mean. Right, yeah. You get over it.
You've already blown your wad for the day.
Yeah, it's like I felt so relieved.
Well, that's good. So how was your show?
Yeah, it was fun. It was really great. Second City is a great club. It's really great, and every year I play there, I like it more. But I was remembering because Dana Gould told this amazing story. I think he did his act about getting a panic attack on stage. So that's what I was always worried about. Like, if it does go to showtime, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would obviously try and do the show, but
I always just feel like the wiring once you get on stage, like the wiring all switches.
Yeah, I think so.
I was talking to my doctor about attention span issues and going, yeah, when I'm on stage, that sort of takes care of itself. There's enough adrenaline just from the situation that it focuses you, but it's like if you're sick before the show, you're not sick while during your set,
Yes. Except as an OCD person, I can come up with a scenario in my mind that will always be something that, if I said to you, what if you get violently ill on stage? It hasn't happened to me, but I think it could.
Right. Sure.
But that's not useful thinking. I'm trying to go away from that, whatever that's called, ruminations or.
You just gotta be Ollie Joe Prater about it if it ever happens.
What was that?
I've told you that story. He was in, this happened, not when this was a secondhand story from a club owner. But Ollie Joe Prater, Bloomington, Indiana. I've told it on the show before, but he, during his set, he goes, well, I gotta piss. I gotta take a piss. And Ollie Joe Prater, for those you don't know, was like a 600-pound cowboy figure. Road legend, comedy store legend. And a comedy store legend. And a huge joke thief and, whatever, right. Whatever. But
everyone knew that.
He's the kind of guy you'd go into a truck stop and you could buy an Ollie Joe Prater album there. So he's on stage in Bloomington. He's goes, I got to take a piss. Hold on a minute. And there's a door behind the stage out to the alley. And so he literally just steps off the stage into the alley and pisses all over himself, all over his pants and stuff. And comes back on stage and goes, well, I pissed all over myself. I can handle it if you can.
I can handle what?
I can handle it if you can. And the audience cheered and he went on.
Oh my God. Talk about knowing what your audience, being in tune with your audience.
Exactly. We did too, Ollie. Woohoo!
Well, I think I told you when we talked about him last time that when he died, there was an ad in that, I always forget the name of the Just for Laughs. That was a newspaper.
Yeah.
Not the Just for Laughs festival, the Just for Laughs newspaper. And that someone take out a full page ad saying, when Ali Joe Pryor died, a little bit of every comic died with him because he stole material.
Right.
I miss the cruel days.
They were cruel days.
Well, supposedly he might, I mean, we don't know. I'm not saying this as a fact. I'm saying that he may have burned down the Improv, allegedly.
Right.
But that's the story. But I don't believe anything unless I know for sure.
Right. And he's dead, so there's no slander of
Oh,
the
that's
dead.
right.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk today when we have had this nightmare. We lost our episode. Now I'm in Toronto, and
it is Thursday. Today was the day of the Kavanaugh hearings.
Oh God!
And it was.
It kind of takes the life out of you in a way when you see. Because I know for a fact, I'm old enough to know for a fact that the Republicans are worse than they ever were. They're like like visually evil now.
Yeah, like since McCarthy, probably.
Right. Since Joe McCarthy?
Yes. No, Charlie McCarthy.
Right. But they're just, all they want to do is confirm this guy. They don't care if he sexually assaulted anybody. That's kind of scary.
The whole thing is scary because, they won't subpoena the other guy because they don't want to hear what he has to say under oath. And they keep out, and Grassley is continuously talking about how, they waited 35 days, blah, 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 but with no explanation of why we couldn't still postpone this for a week,
Yeah, complaining. Meanwhile, every time they complain, there's someone should put a banner behind them. You blocked a Supreme Court nominee. You stole one from Obama.
For 10 months, yes.
Yeah. It's like unbelievable that there's such, I really think of, every time I see Grassley, I think it's John Huston in Chinatown.
Yeah.
And he's, my sister, my daughter, he kidnaps his daughter at the end. Faye Dunaway, he puts his hand over. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's Kavanaugh I'm thinking of.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's Chuck Grassley cheering on Kavanaugh doing it, and then he jumps on
the most disgusting.
And knocks Faye Dunaway off the bed.
I mean, I know you love him, but seriously.
He's starting to wear on me, Andy, I gotta say.
And doesn't it sound like we're living in a dream? It's like a dream world. If you said, in 1991, when the Anita Hill thing happened, and now this many years later, there's all white men who are on the Judiciary Committee.
On the Republican side, at least, yeah. But it's also, it was so interesting to see how the evolution and backfiring of getting that prosecutor from Maricopa County to do the questioning. And you could see that it's just like, as the day went on, it's like, oh no, I need some camera time. I need, this isn't going to work.
Wait, you talking about the lady? The professional?
Yeah. The prosecutor who they had questioned the witness. Yeah. Yeah.
When she said this shouldn't have been done in 5-minute segments?
Well, no, but no, I'm just saying that the whole thing did not work.
Wait,
it backfired for the Republicans completely to have this prosecutor being the one questioning the accuser.
Is that why they went? And I missed a couple hours in the afternoon. But is that why they questioned them and they started questioning themselves in the afternoon?
I think so.
Or did they always plan?
It was because their boy was on the stand now, and they weren't going to be accused of beating up on a sexual crime victim, which is why they had the prosecutor do it. But it backfired because she was such a great witness, and and then they started the afternoon with the questioning of him by the prosecutor, and then Lindsey, did you see Lindsey Graham's volcanic?
No, people have been talking that he
grandstand explosion
in the room.
As I wrote on Twitter, it looked like he got a hernia climbing up on that grandstand.
Was it during the broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought this was outside or something.
I didn't see if he did something outside. I didn't see that, but he.
Okay, so what did he do?
It was in the hearing. It was just a big bloviating. I hope you never. I hope you guys are never in power because watch out. This is the worst Washington's ever been in my time here. Bah, 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 bah. It's just a bunch of hypocrisy, hypocritical bullshit is what it was. But people will have had enough of talk about this by Monday.
I feel like we're living in I didn't think it would last this long. I predicted that Trump would be gone by the end of August.
Yes, I think we have you on tape.
I've been wrong about a lot of things. And just how long is this going to go on? Josh, tell me.
Well, at least till January 20th of next year.
All right. But get out there and vote, we say to our supporters.
Come on, listeners.
We don't do anything that, like, regular podcasts don't do these. We'll start our own. Should we start our own foundation?
No, I don't think we should.
More like a Trump thing, where we funnel money into it.
We should do nothing that requires administering.
Hey, I was going to ask you this. Did you want to maybe answer the questions again? Because people ask those questions thinking they were going to be answered.
We sure can.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because it might remind us of the hilarity of the last show, and it'll bring back memories.
Right.
I'm trying to remember what else we talked about. I came in like a house on fire, right? Joking, kidding.
I had to establish that our new format wasn't just that we go until you fall asleep.
And then I remember talking about getting home from England. I see how the years go by me.
We talked jet lag, which isn't an interesting conversation. We can all admit that.
Hey, if anybody missed my jet lag chunk, go to WebMD because they have a nice segment there.
I bet you've been there many a time.
Yeah, I think I did all my expatriate chunk. I did my what they call a lift. I think we lost this. They call it a lift there. We call it an elevator.
We call it an Uber.
An Uber. They call it an Uber. I think we lost that.
Yeah, I don't recall that. That never really entered my. That wouldn't have stuck to the tape even if I had been recording.
But I do remember that I was laughing a lot, and I do remember that there were a lot of impressions that we did.
Yeah, we were bantering, we were having fun. It was good. Just enough. Stop reminiscing about the show we lost.
You know what would be helpful though? That's unhelpful. But you know what would be helpful?
What would be helpful?
If I remember something specific that I could turn into an anecdote or a story.
Well, I remember we had a tweet from Jen Kirkman.
Okay.
I don't have it here because it's way too far back now, but because it wasn't tagged.
Okay.
But I recall that she says that she forgives you for slagging on her livelihood.
Mrs. Maisel.
Yes. She loves the yoga pants. She likes it when we do something that in the format that's not yoga pants, like it looks like Coke, but it's not. It's Diet Coke.
Oh, she wants us to plug.
She wanted us to think stuff like that. She didn't pitch that. That was my response to her request. She also wanted to hear Dennis Miller talking about the yoga pants. Not necessarily. Not with.
I think you could top what you did.
I didn't have that good a run, I gotta say. So I don't know that I got one in me now, but, friends, let me tell you a little something about these, trousers. If you are the kind of person who needs to go from a wedding to downward facing dog, I think I may have the slacks for you, my friend. Yeah. They look like dress pants, but they're not. No, they're yoga pants, people.
In case you're constricted by the bounds of a normal waistband, in case your Orson Wellesian girth prevents you from sitting down in regular pants, I've got the trousers for you, my friend.
I think that's all I got.
I think that was good.
Thank you.
Hey, I don't know what kind of parachute pants you're slinging over in your thing. Well, these yoga pants. I don't know. You know what? I start to do him. I don't do impressions well, and I start to get depressed when I think of his material.
Well, I think that's a healthy response, if not an entertaining one.
Yeah, but last week I nailed it too. You can attest to this. They look like yoga pants, but they don't. They look like dress pants, but they don't. They're yoga pants.
Yeah, you nailed it, Andy.
They look like. Come on, they look like. Maybe you're not picking it up on the Skype. They look like.
I think
like dress pants, but they aren't. They're yoga pants.
There's a certain Aboriginal quality to your Australian.
See, if you did that now, it'd be big controversy.
There would be.
No, Andy, it's not controversial to use the word Aborigine. Oh, okay. Then go ahead. I love that man so much, and I booked him to be on the show. I was our first guest.
Yeah, I appreciate that. He keeps calling.
Simply because if you use Simply Safe, with Simply Safe, your apartment, you're secure. What is Simply Safe again?
It seems like it's safe, but it's not. It's extremely dangerous.
You might think you're safe, but you're not.
It's kind of a Yakov Smirnoff thing. You can turn anything around, you know.
In his country,
it looks like a hat, but it's not. It's a helmet.
Oh man, you know what's going to be great when we do sell yoga pants, and then it'll be like a comment on a comment.
They really would. They look like they're pants, but they're not. They're meta pants.
It looks like a coffee mug, but it look like a regular coffee mug, but it isn't. It's a thought spiral.
It looks like a coffee cup, but it's not. It's for tea.
It looked like it. Do we have a pen and pen set yet?
Not yet.
But you see, the pencil, one of the pen or the pencil would look like you, and the pen would look like me, and that would be the selling point. They look like a regular pencil and pen set, but they aren't.
They aren't. They're crayons.
They're thought spiral.
They look like a pen set, but they're not. They're pot pipes.
Hey, pot's going to be legal up here on the 17th. It is unbelievable that I've lived this long, that it's going to be like I go on the road, I can smoke pot. I'm back in town, I can smoke pot.
But you can't fly between the two places with it.
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Although I think you could take CBD or something.
No,
I don't know.
don't.
But what's the point now?
Don't be stupid, Andy.
Luckily, I did see. I'm telling anybody who's young that if you watch the movie Midnight Express, you'll never make that kind of mistake.
That's true.
Because that movie scared the living daylights out of me. Just that scene where he's standing in line and he has all this hash and stuff on him, and I can never get that scene on him. You saw it, right?
Yeah, it's chilling.
You're right, though. It is chilling because I think I could have been somebody stupid enough to take drugs back in. I don't know. I just feel that at some point in my life, I was pretty stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're 62 and you're still walking around losing your weed in grocery stores and shit. So.
You know, the thing that upset me about that was that I was so spaced out and tired. I could have gone right back into the supermarket then. Oh, no, they were closing it, too. That would have been desperate.
Right.
I left my vape pipe in here.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got rid of it. Because I don't know if I mentioned this to you recently, Josh, but the vape pipe, it's Nowheresville.
Yeah, you are going to lose your endorsement with the vape pipe industry. I've been hearing from Director CJ this week, asking me for details about next weekend.
You know, I got this from Bruce, too, the other day, and he says, are you ready to go? Well, I guess I got to answer. He's like, first of all, I have not looked at the script in a long time.
Right.
I guess I could do that when I get home.
Or on the plane.
What are we supposed to say? We're available?
Yeah, of course.
I'm available, but CJ, I'm telling the wife, wants to record next week. No, not next week. The week after, right?
My thing, I would be coming in the 6th, I think. A week from Saturday. I don't know when your schedule is.
You know, I have to be honest with you, Josh. I've had a lot of movie offers come in since that last offer that I'm weighing, that I'm bantering about. They want me to play the Bandit, and Smokey and the Bandit goes to Mars.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
I thought you would cut in by now. Well, I want to do it. I'm all for it, but I know that Bruce emailed me about it yesterday, and I didn't respond, so I better get on the dime. I always, when I travel, I say, can I fall behind further with my obligations? Don't you find you want to not do your obligations when you're on the road with the excuse of, hey, I'm on the road, how could I possibly
not if it's a starring role in a movie for me.
I know. Yeah, there's no way to soft sell this. The rudeness of it.
I can't pull myself away from my one midnight show each day to return an email.
That's right. That sounds bad. The show starts at midnight. What am I doing? Oh, what I did, no, this is true though, was I think yesterday was a jet lag excuse day.
Okay.
All right. So now I'll answer today.
Yeah, answer it.
I was talking to some people. Tom Henry is a comedian who was on the show last night, and he was so funny. I don't know if you've seen him.
No.
Really great. And we were both talking about our, we both have, he has OCD, and I have OCD, and we both are in therapy. And and we're both talking about how we both have a person inside us at all times kind of narrating every experience. Like while I'm talking to you, I may go, how am I doing? Am I listening? And of course, if you're asking yourself if you're listening, you can't possibly be listening.
Right. And so history will tell us the answer is always no.
Oh, it's always no. So all these questions of how am I being perceived? How am I doing? This is actually a true thing that's probably in everybody to some degree. The observer and the observed kind of deal.
Yeah, I think so. Internal dialogue, certainly.
Right. And I think with people with OCD, it's just that they don't let it go, or they have trouble letting it go, or they focus on the other voice. And I'm trying to say that guy, the commenting guy, is getting on my nerves.
Yeah, I think that's what, we were talking about earlier with me is that, our voices are switched in their volume. I have a fucking anxious and destructive voice in me, but the more, the calmer voice is usually the louder voice for me, and it's flipped for you.
Right. Now, when you got angry at yourself, I was trying to, my thing was I have a problem when something happens, like I don't let the person be upset, but I was just trying to say it wasn't upsetting to me, but you were mad at yourself.
Oh, I hate fucking up so bad. I hate it. I hate it when, I actually have incredible patience for other people's fuck ups, but I have no patience for my own. And so I went to bed mad Monday night. I woke up mad, and then I went and worked out, and I was fine after that.
Well, that's good. That's like the Roger Federer thing, where you give yourself a certain time limit to be upset. But I was hoping that I was at least trying to be reassuring.
No, you were very supportive. You didn't act. You never went to anger for a second, and you got a couple of good shots in at me that were funny, and it was all fine. And
that's the thing. I wish I could be. I'm like you, but even in more of a compulsive way. It's like, it's so important to me not to be accused of doing something wrong. It's like I can't stop it. I can't stop thinking about it way past when the other person's thinking about it. It's like a self-induced thing. But you have a healthy perspective, I think.
Well, thank you. I don't know about that, but I can move on usually.
And And I told you, I don't know if I did tell you did we talk about it on the show how I did a Greg Fitzsimmons show once, and we did here's what happened. We did the show for his Sirius XM show. Then he had his own podcast, and that's the one he forgot to record.
Ah.
And luckily I had no place to go, so I could do it over again. But the other night, I think it would have hurt myself if I stayed.
Yeah, it would have been bad. You would have just been, I have to pack.
Which I still have not.
You still haven't packed?
Yet.
You haven't packed?
No, I just still did not. You think after all these years, I would have the packing experience streamlined, but it's like an OCD, ADHD nightmare. I walk around the apartment like a chicken.
Yeah. Can you keep a set of just for travel DOP kit kind of thing?
That's what I should do. And that's what I will do, because that's the only solution. What I have is like, I have this bag. It's a nice bag, but you have to pack it a certain way. So I have all these little bags inside this big bag. And then when it gets to the end of packing, I have a whole table of stuff I didn't pack properly. So I just start stuffing those into the existing 3 or 4 bags that go into the bag. And now it's all popping out of the seams. That's not a good way to do it.
What? You're right. I just wanted to see if that worked over Skype.
I didn't even know what were you doing over? Were you pretending to be asleep?
I was snoring, yeah, but it was.
I did not hear the snore.
I was playing to my mic more than to the Skype mic. So let's do. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
The one thing I do miss is from this hookup is I'm not doing my usual thousands of bits with my voice.
Yeah, and your man of 1,000 faces is really lost.
Were you going to say you want to answer more questions?
We can. You want to do that, or do you want to?
I think it'd be fun. Oh, you want to play the song?
Let's do it. Let's play a different song.
Okay.
We'll go back to that one when you're here, so I can lament it in person. Okay. This one I'm going to play the final of the Superball themes. But this was the biggest production of all the Superball songs. And it was mostly written by Gruber and Thomas Chan, but the whole thing was a group effort with Gruber, Thomas Chan, Scott Pinkerton, Allison, my wife, and me. So it was the whole gang really doing this thing. So I like it because of that. There's probably some copyright violations here, but it was all because it's a.
Leave me out of it.
No, there's sound. It's just there's music. It's you'll hear what I'm talking about.
I'll get it. Yeah.
But it's a bunch of it's a big sort of medley of song chunks. So this is the Superball theme, and we'll be back.
The Super Bowl is calling you. The Super Bowl is calling you. And when that ball calls you, you gotta move. Turn it up. It's a call of the ball that you can't ignore. So you think you've heard it all before. Well, this one's the big one and the double odd one. Yeah, boys, let's get it on. Super Bowl, yo, Super Bowl, yo, Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Well, the Super Bowl's calling, y'all. There's no choice. You can't run, you can't hide from the beautiful noise. Don't battle the ball. It won't be denied. Give in to the sell-through and supersize. Super Bowl, yo, Super Bowl, yo, Super Bowl. Don't neglect the bar roll. The spiritual jam of follicular fun. You can think what you like, but it's not what you thought it would be. Oh, this ball's bigger than you and me. Yeah, me. I love Super Bowl. Papa's got a brand new ball. What the? It's going to destroy the city. Give it a supersonic globular bomb. But if we happen to be left out alive, kids are roll the papers and smile at the sky, cause you know that the Super Bowl never lies. It keeps rolling. I'm just talking about Super Bowl. And the band played on. Follow the bouncing ball. Get bouncing, bouncing. Did somebody say keep on rocking?
Yeah, that was me.
You can think what you like, but it's not what you thought it would be. Oh, this ball's bigger than you.
Who, me?
And me.
Oh, you.
See?
No, I don't.
Just the Super Bowl.
Are you with me so far?
No, still not kidding.
Ron, people at home may be asking, how can I dig the ball?
Man, it's already done. It's a super big gulp of groove that you chug. Your brain freezes. Sweet Jesus. It's a stone cold orbital thing.
Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl.
Gigantic, Titanic, P5, panic, giant, mongus, proton, spirit, killer, P.
It's about confusion. That's what the ball is today. It's about confusion. That's what the ball is today. Hey, hey.
The ball response to your Super Bowl is gonna do you.
It's about confusion. It's about confusion. Super Bowl for you and me. What a party truly be. Super Bowl for you and me. What a party truly be. Super Bowl for you and me. What a party truly be. Super Bowl for you and me. What a party truly be. Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl. 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 Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl, y'all, Super Bowl.
That was a hit.
You think?
Oh my God. First of all, I got an email.
Well, it was. There was a bunch of hits actually involved.
Well, that was a bunch of hits, but first of all, I love Gruber. I don't know. Is Gruber doing the rap kind of, right?
Yes.
But it sounds like you and him doing stuff.
Everyone is all over it. But yeah, no, I'm in there a bunch and I'm playing harmonica and doing other stuff.
And there was a time, it was a passage there that sounded like Frank Zappa to me, which was great.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with it. And I did get an email from the Temptations while I was listening to it.
A cease and desist already?
Well, they said that even the surviving members don't care.
They don't even remember who the original members are anymore.
They said, look, we've had our ball of confusion. Run with it, they said.
Right.
Fear in the air, tension everywhere, population's going fast, the Beatles' new records are gas. And the only safe place to live is on an Indian reservation.
And the band played on.
Around and round and round the world goes. Where the world stops, nobody knows. I just wanted to make sure we get sued.
Yeah, thank you.
That was good. I'm telling you, that lifted my spirits. That was a pick-me-up.
Excellent.
See? We should lose our shows more.
You think?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Every one of our bits goes, We both play the guy who pretends to get excited, and then one of us plays the guy who goes no.
Neither of us can ever commit to the excited guy.
Really, Andy? We'll do this? No.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably. Call it a day.
Do you want to recreate some of the spontaneity that we had with the questions the first time?
Sure. I think it'll work.
All right.
I think I did a joke about Scrubs. Didn't I do a joke about Scrubs?
Ah, damn, that didn't stick with me.
Well, because there was a commercial. Where have you been for it was that show Monument. Manifest.
Oh, right.
And they said, and their slogan was, "Where have we been for the last 5.5 years?" And that's what I said when I decided to stop watching Scrubs.
Right. Yeah, that's why it didn't stick with me. Because it's not funny. Amelia Fox asked, should I do it in person? Should I do it past tense?
Either way.
All the way through.
Works for me.
Do you think it's acceptable for comics to walk off stage and leave in the middle of a set if the audience sucks? Have either of you ever done it?
I do remember now saying that I have given up on sets. And that once when I was middling for Carol Leifer, I just, at the end of my act, I put the microphone on the stage and walked over. And it was embarrassing because it's not her fault I bombed.
But it was at the end of your time.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever walked off except the Reading Festival when they told me to leave the stage because they were pelting me with bottles.
Well, it was nice of them to give you the out.
Yeah. Because Susan was saying, no, he never gives up. He never gives up. And they were, he's going to get killed. And then she said, and I finally went off.
I'm no
hero.
I love that she was the one going, don't throw in the towel. Don't throw in the towel. She was.
She thought I'd be very mad if I left early.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have been heartbroken. I've never bailed on a set because it was horrible. I've run out of material before my allotted time when I was younger.
Oh yeah, as soon as you said that, I had 5 memories of that.
Yeah. So I did. So yes, I've, maybe gotten off 5 at 25 minutes instead of 30 when I was a middle because I just burned through everything because what with no laugh spread and all.
And neither one of us are going to say what else is in the news.
But I don't think it's it's not a cool thing to do. And you only do it if if you're either really good friends with the owner or don't want to work at the place again, which, if you're walking off, chances are you don't want to work at the place again. So.
Right. But it would have to be that your life was in danger more than the crowd was bad.
Right. You can't pull a Larry David these days.
Yeah. He used to he just yelled at the crowd and walk off. But he was also doing sets at Catch a Rising Star where there'd be another comic coming on in 10 minutes.
Right.
So he was able to bail. Larry David was never on, to my knowledge, never did the road like we did the road.
I don't think so either.
I think it was a catch.
Yeah.
I would do spots all week and then he would get annoyed there, which probably didn't matter as much.
Right. He was the Andy Kindler of his day where the comics all liked it.
That's true. But apparently he could be even angrier than me.
Yeah, I think so.
I give up on the crowd. Oh, that's another joke I wanted to remind us of that I have not been doing this joke, Josh, that Hannah Gadsby stole my bit.
Yeah, you should.
That's evergreen.
It is. That and the Anthony Bourdain you should keep doing.
I just realized, I think I just got the Anthony Bourdain joke 3 days ago.
Yeah.
The full import of it.
Yeah, I think
we get it. Life's not worth living.
It's because it's still, every time I see these things, it's the same. They keep trying to spin him as inspiring, and you go, well, okay, but it didn't work.
Yeah, we know what the ending is.
Yeah.
Well, do you think I have the cojones? I'm going to do that joke, but I really don't. Here's the thing. The joke, I don't have any feelings about it. I'm not, of course you're sad when anybody dies except for Hitler.
No, but it's such your voice that we get it. Yes, life isn't worth living. Yes. Yes.
I'm going to do that tonight.
Okay,
I'm also going to do the Hannah Gadsby stole my bit. I was the first person to quit comedy during my act.
Right.
I give up on the joke during the premise, ladies and gentlemen.
I think both will work for you, especially at a comedy festival. Michelle Weiscarver writing in, happy to be hearing you fine gentlemen again after returning from Germany, visiting family. The Weiscarver family in Germany. I purchased a new Kindle to take on vacation and gave it a sweet nickname. And her nickname for her new Kindle is Thought Spiral. How very nice. It's not exactly, it's not like naming a kid, but it's nice.
It is nice. And also my name in German means something. Kinder, like, or Kinder.
I've named my personal electronics after your podcast.
I can't figure out if you're German guys from Hogan's Heroes.
We have ways of making you flattered.
Did you like Sergeant Schultz as much as I did?
Yeah, I mean, just because he was,
He was a sweetheart.
He was a sweetheart who loved food.
And I always thought if I had to be in Nazi Germany, I don't say I want to be, but I would hope that I would be in the prisoner of war camp that had like a manhole cover you could escape from, and a nice, jolly guy like Schultz. Even Klink, if you think about it,
wasn't that
was
bad?
Not
guy.
a bad man.
No, oh sure, you could, he had his moments. To the cooler! I'm putting you in the cooler!
You're going to the Russian front. Isn't it amazing that there was a show that had Russian front references, and people say, my references are outdated? Or again?
I don't know. Hogan's Heroes was only 20 years after World War II.
And the thing about it is, Hogan's Heroes was a show that I loved as a kid, because I loved it I didn't even think about what it was based on. I just thought, look at these guys. They're having so much fun, and they're winning the war.
Right. And they've got forts. Their whole thing was like, they made a fort in their bedroom. How could you not like that as a kid? and didn't they also have card games and every kind of thing going? Yeah, it was a gay old time. Newkirk would often split them into different groups and play Family Feud with them.
But you wouldn't think that they would figure out and be in charge of the whole town. It's just surprising to me that everybody would be marching to their tune. Right. In the term POW camp. Oh, I love that show. But now that's a show I talked to my therapist. Now I've realized a lot of these shows were how I wanted my life to be. Not like I wanted to be in Nazi camp, but Leave It to Beaver. I wanted my family to be like Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, but I think that's true of every baby boomer.
That's true. Yeah. And sometimes I wanted to watch Donna Reed, but it didn't work with some of them didn't work. That's the amazing thing. Like, I never liked Dennis the Menace.
Well, because it was terrible.
It was so bad. It was so bad. The kid looks like he's 30 years old.
It was Leave It to Beaver without the edge.
Well, every sitcom has a Mr. Wilson.
Sure.
Like, who's the banker on the Beverly Hillbillies?
Mr. Drysdale?
The same character in a way.
Sort of.
Am I teaching the world's worst sitcom?
Except for Mr. Drysdale was kissing up to them because he needed their account.
Oh, that's true. That's true. My friend, who was a comedian, Amy Rose, she pointed out that in the later Lucy's, I Love Lucy's, that when they were with their real names, I guess there was a Here's Lucy and it was her real name.
Right.
So that Lucy would say, whoa, Viv. I just loved the idea that it got to the point where they had their own names.
Right. Let's couch all these conceits and just fill up.
Hey, Viv.
Let's just fill up the shower stall with water and get on with it.
Viv, it's William Holden, Viv. That's all they did for. No, I'm not putting down on Lucy. You know what? I feel bad even saying it. This is such a great show. But they did get into that thing where it was all celebrity driven.
Stunt casting, they called it.
Stunt casting, so they'd always be like Robert Culp at the pool. They'd find him.
Right.
She was always sneaking into celebrities' hotel rooms.
Right.
And I watched everyone, and I loved it.
Oh, God, it's gold. It's 70 years later we're talking about it, so.
It just shows that nothing's happened much to us, that we have interesting topics.
It's true. Or that's as far as we're up to. We still have the entire golden age of TV to plow through.
Oh, I saw this show on one of those antenna TV type shows that I had never seen before. And it was called Good Morning World. And it had Ronnie Shell.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
Sure.
And a whole bunch of comics and other people I recognized. I was like, it was on right before the Joey Bishop show, which I don't know if you've tried to watch, but it is painful.
I've only seen minutes of it, but yeah, I never watched the whole one.
Have you ever seen Joey? Like, Joey Bishop's a guy I want to see be funny. So maybe I need to find the tape where he's funny.
There probably exists.
Because did we talk about the Carson? Did we talk about the Carson did his 11th anniversary show? He had Rickles on.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was like a pie fight in that one.
No, I don't know about the pie fight. Maybe I missed that.
Or an egg fight. It was an egg fight.
Burt Reynolds was on.
It was Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise and.
No, that was a different year.
Okay.
Well, maybe I missed Dom DeLuise. This was with Rickles and Buddy Hackett.
Okay. Was it one where he was like super loose?
Yeah, where Buddy Hackett was hilarious. And I was realizing I don't really know his comedy. He obviously was funny.
Oh, he was super funny. I
never knew him as being funny. I saw him as falling all over himself in a mad world. It's like there's so little I'm aware of. I feel like an idiot for being a comedian because I know he was also unpleasant too.
Yeah, I think in later years, I don't know that was always his rap, but
no, he wasn't. I mean, he was so funny on this show. Sorry.
Yeah, he's super funny. I mean, if you go back and watch his stand-up, I mean, a lot of it is jokes, but they're well told and they're generally filthy. So.
Well, Johnny was doing his 11th anniversary, and Burt Reynolds came on, and he was doing something. So it was like an anniversary show, but it wasn't. There was nothing about it. They didn't do big productions. They said we've been on the air 11 years, and they mentioned it a couple of times. I want to thank Doc for being here, but there was no like big production like later on. Although I don't know, did he ever do? He did anniversary shows, right?
Yeah, he did some.
Yeah.
But yeah, they played a bunch of Burt Reynolds episodes after Burt died recently.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, he was good on that show. When he died, it was a weird thing. I posted this tweet about this story because he was at the Macon Film Festival when I was there, and I was talking to the makeup woman who had made him up for his appearance that night, and she was basically telling me the story of him completely sexually harassing her, including kissing her, and I go, "Oh man, I'm really sorry that happened." And she looks at me and goes, "Best day of my life."
Well,
and so I posted that story, and it was like I couldn't have gotten less satisfying responses because I pissed off some women for telling that story at all.
Oh.
And then there was like several guys, and I kind of knew I would piss off some, staunch people, but I thought it was an interesting story, and I wasn't an asshole in it, so why not tell it? But then I started getting responses from dudes going, "Yeah, see, it's not always so clear cut." And I'm like, "No, that was not the message I'm sending." So I deleted the tweet, but it was an interesting story.
I think that story's a great story, I think, because the thing is about it is that I think the woman could have been saying, she kind of been kidding with you a little bit too, right?
No, I mean, yes and no. I mean, she was incredulous that I felt bad for her,
But I don't know. These guys, like Burt Reynolds was an attractive guy who was funny.
Yeah, biggest star in the world.
Gave up a little leeway, probably, but that doesn't mean you want Harvey Weinstein drooling all over you.
Right.
This is probably not the best way to frame the topic.
No, so there's no good way to spin the story unless you just see it at face value.
I love that though. Yeah, he was so skinny in the show. I saw the show. It was at the anniversary, but right after he had paused for Playboy or something.
Oh yeah.
Or Playgirl. Sorry.
No, it was Cosmopolitan.
That's what it was, Cosmopolitan. And but Johnny was. I mean, they were all funny. They were all smoking. I mean, it's just the best. I don't want to smoke again, but I just love the looseness of it.
Greg W. wants to know what's the worst thing that would come up if you guys were nominated for the Supreme Court.
I would refer you to my testimony that I gave in the redacted part of this. That's what Kavanaugh said all day. I refer you to the testimony from the redacted part. All four people said All four people said I wasn't involved. I think just if anybody who was in a relationship with me had testified to how needy I was,
right,
that could probably screw it up for me.
Yeah, I guess it would pretty much just be the weed with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't even do
also the fact that I dropped out of college to make fun of movies with a gumball machine. That wouldn't help me.
This whole thing crystallized for me because I know I have OCD, so I have intrusive thoughts all day long. But it's like, these people were saying, hey, you were back in no, you weren't back in high school trying to suffocate people. Ever. And sexually and non-sexually, putting your hand over someone's mouth. These guys sound like they were like blind, drunk drinkers, which I've never been around those people.
Yeah, binge. Yeah, they sounded like they were total binge drinkers.
And also, I don't think prep schools are good for men.
No, I just wrote a tweet a couple minutes before you called about the 3 things that don't automatically make you sound less like a sex offender. Number 1, I went to Yale Law. 2, I was an athlete. And 3, I go to church every Sunday.
It's almost like you would if it was your client, you go, it's so obvious that you're lying with the church thing.
I don't know if
mention it.
Who knows if he is, He went to Catholic school.
I'm sure he goes to church.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You know who else goes to church every Sunday? Catholic priests.
I knew you'd nail it.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
First international Yoshi theme there. Andy, how much of your early act was showbiz related? I can't find the young comedian special anywhere. Did you feel like you didn't earn the right to criticize people in your act till you got the speech? Or were you always a fire hose of judgment like me?
Well, I'm glad I get to do this over because I think I went on for like an hour and a half when they lost tapes.
Yeah.
And got nowhere. And I basically was just trying to say that I didn't start out doing it. I just got attracted to doing it. Then the National Lampoon article came out, and that really, Joe Madison helped me with that. And so that got me focused. I just started to like it more and more. But I don't think I did anything like that early. I think my act was just bad when I started.
Yeah. Joel Madison helped you with the hack handbook or just with
he's the one who said, he came up with the line, steroid. I said, everything is funny with an attitude and it's even funnier on steroids. So he came up with steroids are just vitamins with an attitude.
Right.
So he came up with that. He may have come up with other lines, but I did really ask so many of my friends because we were all into making fun of hacky comedy. So a lot of people contributed that I can't remember, ideas to it.
Right. Yeah, it was the kind of thing that required a big master list.
Yes. A plus B. I'm half this. I'm half Irish. I'm half Jewish. Every time I drink, I want to have matzo ball soup. That's not an example of a funny example.
Right.
But that's how it works.
But a hack premise nonetheless.
Well, it's easier. I'm half Jewish. I'm half German. I hate myself.
Right.
Maybe that's all there is to it.
I haven't taken a shower in years.
Hey, how about this one, though? I know what you people are hearing. Scooby-Doo had sex with something else funny. Why did this funny celebrity sleep with that funny celebrity, and I came out?
Right.
Well, Yoshi, you should be lucky. As bad as this answer was, Yoshi,
Oof,
you heard what we dumped.
At least it was short.
Yes.
Tweet Bahara says, guys, is it official you're doing a live Thought Spiral at Moon Tower Comedy Festival here in Austin, spring 2019? I'll be the guy with Perush.
It is true that, and it's nice to know, Josh, 1 week later, I still haven't followed through on checking back with them.
Okay.
So I have to do that. And it's just, some things never change, my incompetence. But I do believe that we will be there. Yes. I will say yes. I'll guarantee it, in fact.
Okay, excellent. So yes, that's a guarantee from Andy Kindler.
Right.
Greg W. says, moment shot?
Worth nothing.
Huh?
It's worth nothing.
It's true.
I shouldn't have thrown that in there.
It's not worth the paper it's not written on.
Yes.
Greg W. says, moment shots or Shields and Yarnell? I go moment shots all the way because I actually saw them when I was a kid.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and then I mentioned that. I know it's to me it's totally delightful that I'm recalling what I said.
Yes.
But for people who didn't hear it the first time, it's just boring. But I said that Chris Elliott did a whole Moonshines bit on Letterman once that cracked me up.
Yes.
He came out and he kept telling Letterman, no, it's not Moonshines, it's Moonshines. I would like to see them. And you said that you were delighted by them and that you would probably have been delighted by Blue Man Group back in those days.
In those days, I would have. I might have even fallen for Stomp.
Hey, this is the first time I've experienced the dogs getting agitated from afar.
Yeah, it's something, isn't it?
But also, it speaks to the fact that of why we normally, and this will be really interesting only for Perush, about why we do the podcast later. Isn't it true that the dogs make more noise earlier? Josh?
Yes, that's the 9 o'clock start time is partially calculated because of dog downtime.
How do your record meters look now?
Oh shit. Dr. Captagon says, Josh once claimed that he smoked the right amount of pot. So what's the right amount of pot? It's, well, each day has its own prescription, I would say. But, generally, if I'm working at home, it's probably part of the mix. I don't take it out with me the same way Andy does. I might pregame before I leave, but I don't, when I leave the house, I don't take it with me and find a place to re-up. So
yeah, that's my problem.
And I don't fly with it generally. Not even generally. I don't fly with it. And so there's sometimes when I get to a town, someone will have it for me. Sometimes they don't. So I'm okay for a few days without it.
I like to give lip service, and I'm okay for a few days. But I think I am. It's only when I start to think about it. And then there's always, if you're somewhere 4 days, then it's like, and then someone the day before you leave goes, oh, I found some. Then you're like, what am I buying a dime bag now?
Right.
But it's all in my book, Josh, about hilarious. It's the book I wrote with Mark, Judge. Is his name Mark Judge?
Yes, I think so.
He wrote the part about blacking out in college. I wrote the part about, smoking pot and getting the munchies. Okay, take that without the Mark Judge premise.
Okay.
I hope you buy my book, Josh, about all the things I did when I was high. Like I got the munchies. I hope you take this whole thing out, and I mean my part of this podcast.
Well, you're not committed yet. I haven't pushed stop yet. Dr. Captagon. Oh no, that was Dr. Captagon. See, I smoked too much pot, apparently.
I couldn't see you.
Patented Phil says, was curious if you guys were familiar with Phil Hendry and his comedy from over the years. Also, has Andy seen the trailer for the Laurel and Hardy biopic? It looks great.
I do want to see the Laurel and Hardy biopic. And yes, I became familiar with Phil Hendry. And I didn't know what it was. At first, I didn't like him because I thought it was mean. But then I really got to like it. And then I love the fact that he would do not only the voices of the callers, but he would also do 3 of the voices of the people supposedly in studio with him.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Phil Hendry was, and yes, I was a fan of his too, a sort of radio legend and voiceover guy who used to do this local talk radio show where he would bring up sort of controversial topics, and then not only would he take real calls, but he would in character be a call-in person and act as if he was someone in studio. So he'd be playing 3 characters in a conversation sometimes and doing it with incredible skill and seamlessness, so that it took months for me to understand that that's what he was doing on radio when I moved here.
Yeah, his technique was amazing, and his ability to have varied characters was amazing.
Yeah. So yes, big fan.
But then he became a neocon. And so I stopped listening, but now he's the opposite of a neocon.
Yeah, he recovered, didn't he?
Trump.
Right. Randy Denton sends a picture of himself taking it easy in Puerto Vallarta. Any Mexico stories you can share? No, I've never been to Mexico.
And I've been to only the tourist spots. I've been to your, like Ensenada, Rosarito Beach. And the most fun I've had was at Puerto Nuevo, where you can have lobster, locally caught lobster, which is actually pretty good, and you have it with Coke, Mexican Coke.
I hear they just call it Coke there, by the way.
I enjoyed that. That was good. I guess that I have to answer that I haven't really been to Mexico, if that's all I've done. I mean, that blanket, I have it in the back of my trunk still. It's so itchy. And the Kahlua, I've come to find out, Josh, I don't like Kahlua.
Huh. Just another form of coffee you can scorn.
No, but when you go to Mexico, you're all excited, hey, I'm going to get Kahlua at a reduced price. That screams tourist. I don't know why I wasn't arrested and thrown into some cell. Because I had a stupid American coming across.
Like Kahlua would not be on my list of things I have to get while I'm in Mexico, I have to say. Valium maybe.
Oh, I don't know. Could you get, I thought the only thing you could get was a codeine pill, which I hate. I've tried codeine a few times and it makes my stomach, it rips up my stomach.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could get Valium down there.
Yeah. So I've heard.
You shouldn't bring it back, should you, Josh?
I don't know. I've never been there. I've only gotten ones that people have brought back.
Well, going anywhere is great now with Trump because, your calling card is that you're coming from the worst country in the world. That needs to bring it down.
Jim Meehan says, as a true Andy yelled, catch it from the right field stands behind Ron Swoboda before his famous World Series catch. And that Swoboda's been taking credit for Andy's idea this whole time.
And that's not true, but I did sit in the left. I think I've said that I sat in the left field, like foul line grandstands when I went to the game 4 of the 5-game series. And if anybody wants to hear something fun, I don't usually like to call things fun, but Ron Swoboda, he announces his own catch on a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
So he's like, and Ron Swoboda squeeze, that's squeezing in. Oh my God. It was really the greatest catch. I can see him right now, running up and getting it. Unbelievable. And it's something I have never even come close to doing in my life.
You've never Swoboda'd.
Catch.
Well, I have a couple. I had, for a fat kid, I had a few sports hero moments growing up, which is enough to sustain me. I had a few sort of miraculous catches, and I had an occasional home run and stuff like that. So I was slow and fat, but I was coordinated.
But now I already told you I was the opposite of that. I lost the big relay from my team, right? I told you that. And I think in summer camp we had the Olympics. I lost, and they said, whatever you do, don't run in between the inside of the cones. I ran inside the cones. We were leading by a lap and a half, and I lost it.
Wow.
And the other team was chanting my name. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
I know, it's terrible.
You lost a minute and a half?
Yeah. I lost and then the other horrible thing was when I was a relief pitcher and I pitched one good game and then I gave up an 8-1 lead and it was 8-7 and the shortstop Todd came over to me and he said, if you don't get this next guy out, I'm going to punch you in the face. And you had the opposite. You had hero things.
I had some of them, but I also had bad. The pitching especially was bad because they told me I was a decent pitcher for a little, for Little League. And then, but I'd only done it a couple times and they told me, hey, we're going to start you at pitcher next week. And so I went that weekend and I wanted so bad to do good that my friend caught for me for 8 hours. I threw the ball for 8 hours.
Oh no.
And messed up my shoulders for years. I messed up my shoulder. But when I started that week, I don't know. I maybe got out of one inning, but I also beamed 3 batters and walked a couple because my shoulder was
have Tommy John surgery.
Exactly. My shoulder was completely blown out from 8 hours of getting ready.
That's how I knew I wasn't going to be an athlete when I would try and pitch or anything like that. And it'd be this is, or even throw from the outfield into the infield. It's exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, once in a while I'd have a coach who could see past my fatness and not make me the right fielder,
That was mean.
Or the lineman, the offensive lineman. Seth Dick III wants to know, do you dance at the weddings you attend? I do grudgingly, and I not consistently, but my wife will generally guilt me into 1 or 2 dances.
I can get it on. I can get it on with the best of them, but I always feel like I'm dancing. Well, I can't get on with it. I'm lying. I'm not Danny Terrio. But I can't.
Are you Adrian Zemed?
What's that?
Are you Adrian Zemed, though?
My problem is I can't stop dancing sarcastically.
Right.
So that's not good dancing when you're making a face like I'm mocking it.
No.
That's saying that you can't do it too well.
Yeah, if you can't commit to dancing, you're not a good dancer.
Mm-mm. Although I've been known to do the electric slide.
Really?
No.
Huh.
And see, I did it again. No. Really? No. Typical thought spiral bit.
There is no payoff for a yes and. Emily B, Jesus Christ, Andy, you're a professional fucking comedian, should replace the test show part of every episode title, which is something I think I said to you in last week's show when you didn't get a joke after several tries.
I don't know if I get it now.
Huh?
How could I not get it twice?
Well, this isn't a joke.
That should be in every description of the show?
Yeah, she's quoting me and saying that it should replace test show.
Oh, I like that. Then I like it. But when I first heard this, I didn't get it? Is that what you were claiming?
No. See? Jesus Christ, Andy, you're a professional fucking comedian. It was a situation similar to this.
I have to tell you, I knew I was so way off when I thought I was stabbing at it.
Yeah.
So was there something on the last week's show that happened?
There's something. I don't remember. It's okay now. Stephen Elton Yates, if I could give you each a ticket to any and all music concerts in any year, what year would you choose and why?
Well, now I'm lying because I've had time to think about this. I do think it'll be Bob Dylan when he went electric because it can't be anything more exciting than that.
So 66?
At the Royal,
was that 65? 66?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't it at Newport?
There were two. There was yes, it was at Newport where he got in, but I don't know. I think he also went on a British tour. I'll take either the British tour or the Newport concert.
Was it? I think it was Newport where they were yelling, "Traitor!"
Yeah, traitor. Yeah, Judas.
Right.
Judas, they yelled at him.
I would probably choose 1977, just because I think that's a cool year where punk and new wave all kind of exploded out of it. Elvis Costello's first album, the Sex Pistols.
Talking Heads,
77.
John Hyatt, Graham Parker and the Rumor.
Sure. Yes, all those.
The English Beat.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I also love the Go-Go's.
Yeah, they were a little later than 77, but
no, they were like 1981.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just adding on. I'm saying add 4 more years.
Okay. Well, I'm just answering the question. If you could wipe your mind and watch, this is Stephen Elton Yates again, if you could spotless mind yourself, he says, and watch any TV show again or movie again for the first time, which would you watch?
I think I would watch, it's always Modern Romance for me for some reason.
Yeah?
Yeah. But, I don't know, that's a tough one. I always have trouble when I have to name anything.
Yeah, I don't know that. First of all, if I only watched it once, I wouldn't need to spotless mind it because I tend to, when I'm watching something the first time, I notice all the wrong things kind of because of my weird brain. But,
oh, I see. Right.
So I forget what the story was a lot. I'll forget major twists and plot things.
So you don't mind seeing it again?
No, I generally, if it's something I like seeing something a second time because then I can watch it slightly more as an audience member the second time.
And this might happen with something like The Sopranos. I could watch again.
Yeah, Sopranos I could totally watch again, and I wouldn't have to wipe my mind because I remember scenes from The Sopranos, but I don't remember the story arcs at all, really.
I do remember how dramatic it was. Even like the first episode when he's in therapy. Oh, I just love that show.
And finally, from Stephen Elton Yates, do either of you do any meditation of any form?
Now, this question was asked, and I'm going to start to do, I have a mantra thing I'm going to start doing. When I breathe in, I say something, and I breathe out, I say something.
Then you breathe in, you say a third thing.
Yeah, I can't say I do it. I have done it, and I need to do it more. And by saying I need to do it, I don't want to make it like a task, but it would really help me.
It seems like a good tool to have in your bag when you're having, say, a 4-hour panic attack.
No question. If I had more tools, which I do sometimes remember to breathe, but if I had more tools, I'd be able to, it's something I shouldn't feel bad about, but it's something I really want to do. So I want to get off my ass and accomplish something with meditation.
Well, I think that's our questions. There's probably were more, but these are the ones I found again.
My God, this is great. I mean, this is the best. I mean, should I oversell the show now?
No, I don't. Not at the end here.
Well, should I at the end of the show pretend that maybe we'll pretend the thing didn't happen?
We could. I could just start the show with, "Hey, we got a weird thing this week. Andy's out of town, but we're about to call him." I could do that.
So where are we now? Are we then at the, if we really wanted to like end it like nothing happened, like there was no past, you would say, I never get to say, and this is something I've been thinking about. I talked to Susan about it, and I went to my therapist. I never get to say, hey folks, go to iTunes and rate the show. You know?
Please.
No, it's not that I never get to say it, I never think to say it.
Okay.
And also if you have a question, I don't know what I'm saying. For swag, if you want to buy Andy Kindler, Thought Spiral, J. Elvis Weinstein memorabilia, go to Zazzle.
Right. That's good.
Not bad.
And what about if they want to email us?
That's the thing. You want to email us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.
Nice.
Is it Gmail?
Yes. And, yeah, that's good.
So, Josh, this is now we're left with what we're always left with is how to end it.
No, this is perfect. This is the easiest one it is because I can literally just hang up on you.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Can you like hang up on me and say, okay, it's over, but then leave it going so that I can have a needy second afterwards and ask you how it was?
No, because I want to get that bloop sound, but then call me.
Okay.
Then call me back right after.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
Fuck you, Andy.
Thank you.